Hello and welcome to the first Navigator Race Show. I'm joined with, of course, Riley McFarlane from WA joins me. Hello, Riley.
G'day, Will. How's it going?
Yeah, good. So it's the first show of it's the first ever Navigator Race Show. We kind of piloted it last year a little bit with the Oz Champs. That seemed to get a pretty good feedback, so I thought I'd bring it back this year. And the first race on the menu is the Oceania Sprint Championships over in New Zealand. Now, like the first one we did of these, I'm not there. I'm just going to be couch watching or couch running. And Riley's over in New Zealand, so he's my little inside man like last time. So first of all, Riley, what are you kind of expecting from the races?
Yeah, so from a bit of geeking that I've done last minute, thanks to Aston Key and Angus Haynes for just dropping a whole bunch of information to us Aussies. Basically, really what we were expecting is actually quite interesting garden bed sprint orienteering, which I've personally only done once in WA, but I feel like it's a pretty standard thing that's coming into the new world orienteering scene now, chasing it up from the normal traditional run around building sprint orienteering style. So that's something that we'll be looking forward to, particularly for the knockouts. And then just for the relay and the sprint individual, it's just normal oceanic sprint orienteering terrain just around university campuses.
Yeah, it's pretty standard kind of orienteering really for sprint. Nothing too specky, but those maps, those like garden bed ones, they throw my head so much.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I did a training session last minute with mates from WA, Oliver Martin and Liam Duffy. We may or may not have sneakily snuck onto the map, and it pretty much went all horrible there. So I'm not sure, or obviously the other elites probably would have done a lot better in terms of the camp there that they've had preparing for the garden bed terrains, and I'm pretty sure that some of the Aussies here will smash it against the Kiwis, so they're definitely a lot more prepared.
Yeah. Before we continue any further, did you say you've been on an embargoed map?
No, this is from way back in Perth.
Okay, we're just making clear before we before we get angry commenters, it's all
Yeah,
okay.
no. I only rocked up to New Zealand today, so yeah, no embargoes for me. Broken.
Well, that's good. That's the way to go. Don't want to be embargoing. Don't want to rule yourself out before you start. What what kind of I know you've just landed in New Zealand, but are the garden beds, are they like high or are they low?
They're pretty low, so it's mainly just preserving native forest. Really, the garden beds just some are low. Yeah, there are bits of like native flora that's a bit higher, but it's very, very obvious to see. But however, on one of the maps, they decided to use the dark green vegetation symbol to help us see the contours easily for some reason. But I personally don't think it'll make that much of a difference, but that may throw off some people. Hopefully, they would have researched their bulletin properly to not run through there and get DQ'd.
Yeah, Riley's got that downloaded. Was it what Australian chance was it? It was over in WA where we had the um was it Easter 3 days where it was dark green that people ran through and got disqualified.
Yeah, probably would have been at Narrogin Senior High School. Yeah, Easter 2019.
20 Yeah. I just remember watching my teammates doing it and just being so sad. Because you could see it from the oval and you were just going, no!
Yeah, I guess that's why that was the peak of my orienteering career back then, because I was the only one who listened to the rules out of us boys back then.
Yeah, I mean, I listened, I just was never quick enough to capitalize on the
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll jump into the races because it's an Oceania Sprint Championships. The winners of the 21, so the elites, get automatic qualification into the World Champs. And that's quite important for the Australians and New Zealanders because it gives us a fourth team spot to those events. So as much as the athletes are trying to get their win on it to win the Oceania Championships, the national federations really want it so that they get that extra seat at the table. So both Australia and New Zealand have sent reasonably strong teams to compete across the three events. So Riley, what are the three events?
Yeah, so the first one is the Oceania Knockout Championships. So that will be pretty much qualifying final, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. And now the organisers have organised it for the qualifying final. There's 3 heats of ABC people running in those races, and from each A, B, C class, the top 12 will qualify for the quarterfinals, and then so on and so forth for the normal rules of knockouts, just the top half, so on and so forth.
Yeah. If you want to know the exact way they're doing it, it's described in their bulletin. I tried reading it and got very confused. But it looks like as long as they understand what's going on, that's all we need to know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's a bit weird in terms of how much bulletins they've been pumping out, but it's good for us athletes, obviously, so that us Aussies have had as fair of an advantage to all the Kiwis.
Yeah. So first we'll just jump in to make our picks for the knockout sprint. So what I want is hang on, 6 go to the final, right? Or is it 5?
It's 6, yeah.
6. So I want your top 6 if you can name 6. If you can't name 6, we'll just go with the top 3. Well, we'll
Well,
go with the men first.
well, without naming myself, because that'd be pretty cocky, and I've been doing nothing but sitting on the beach in Bali, enjoying a fun time. I will name the top 6. So Tim Robertson, obviously,
Oh,
and that's pretty obvious. He's the best sprint
yeah, but
oriented.
I've got some inside scoop. I guess I'll drop it now. Tim Robinson has been recovering from, I think it's knee surgery, and will not be running the courses. He said to me on an Instagram DM because I messaged him to get the word from his mouth. It was, "Hey, I'll be there, but I'm just walking courses. Still having some issues with my knee, so I can't run."
That's just opened it up for everyone. Tim and Aston out. It's a bloodbath.
Is Aston out as well?
Yeah, Aston's still out.
Ah, gee, that's really, it feels right open. And that's what I was saying before, how important winning Oceanias is for that spot.
Fourth.
And
Yeah,
our top Australian athlete's been out for over a year, so the team decided I can't make this too easy and pulls himself out. So
yeah.
it's wide open.
All right, let me just reshuffle it a bit. Let's just start from the start. So,
Yeah.
with the top dogs out, safe to say that it'll be Angus Haynes, Brody Nankervis, Zephyr Fave, Joseph Lynch, and 5th and 6th. Oh, that's difficult. I've got to back my mate Cooper Hawley for 5th, and in
Ooh.
6th, probably let's go Felix Hunt.
That's Cooper's done well there. Yeah, that'll be a really good result. There's so many men on the start line here. It's crazy. There's like 21, I think, in Heat 3, 21 in Heat 2, and 20 in Heat 1. Like, that's what, 62 people?
Yep.
That's
And then it will get down to 6. Those top
that's
6.
oh, that's big. My 6, I worked this out before, got my little list. I had Tim and Aston down with an asterisk because I was like, well, they're not racing, so they might as well be last. I've got Joe Lynch, Duncan Curry making the final because I just think Duncan's just got this unexpected, unexpectedness to him. I'm not sure if he's racing because I can't see him in a heat, but I've got Tommy Hayes if he's racing. The
That's a
Kiwi.
name I haven't heard in a while.
He ran well at the New Zealand champs last year, and I thought he was going to go well, and I don't think he's entered, so I'll have to replace him. But I go Angus. So what's that? 3. Zephyr
Yeah.
4. Pat Jaff 5.
Yep.
And because I'm gonna throw it out there, just because I've got a feeling, and it's not based on anything. And if I get this right, I'll just be amazing. So I'm throwing out Toby Casalotto as my number 6, which is
Wow. What a bombshell. What a bombshell. Oh, to be honest, if our 2 picks, Cooper and Toby, get into the final, mate, I will ship you a 24-pack of Swan Draft over to you.
I
And we'll
think
celebrate the off-season.
I'm gonna celebrate mid-season if Toby makes it and Duncan. Toby and Duncan in the final, I will be. Oh, I need to put money on this. Apart from I'll lose all my money, but that would be amazing. And now we'll jump onto
no
the.
doubt, because just throw everything out in the ballpark. If those 3 men made the final, I would love to listen to the stories from all the athletes on how they are trying to cope with the fact that those 3 men have rightfully earned the place to be in the final over them. But
Yeah,
I reckon they'll have every excuse under this.
I would not want to be in a final with Toby. I feel like he is just dangerous to be in a final with because he will talk his way into all their heads, and you know that for sure. He will be in the final quarantine. He'll be yapping away, saying how amazing he is, and he would just
I know
yeah,
firsthand.
wouldn't yeah. We'll jump into the women now. Go for your top 6 again. If you've got 6, we go 3 if you don't have 6.
All right, so I will have for my predictions. So obviously from Australia, the Key family, Natasha and Miller.
Oh,
And then for the Kiwis, I reckon some of the 20 elites, I reckon most of the 20 elites will supersede the 21 elites, to be honest. So I'll have, it depends how well Emily Hayes has come back from injury. She's, yeah, I'll keep her there. If she's come back from injury, yeah, her. And then my next pick would be, so that's 3, number 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go on a whim here and say Erica Enderby, Catherine Maundrell, and last spot from New Zealand, Anna Babington. So I believe that she'll be the only 21 elite, senior elite for the women's that will be in the final. And I know I've just snubbed a couple of top women's orienteers there. I'm pretty sure. Well,
I think you've made a
that's the
mistake.
prediction. So, nah, no mistake. Nah,
I'm gonna
that's my
be
predictions.
I'm gonna be very, you know, pick the right answers. I'm gonna go Emma Besimo from Sweden. I'm gonna go with Lizzie Ingham from New Zealand. I'm gonna go with Evelyn from the US. Evelyn, but the one of them was in South Australia. I'm going Tara Mel
Mhm.
Hewish. And then I've got two more. I just feel like the Fajaves are just quick. And so I'm
Yeah,
going for, is it Tita or Ty
tight, tight
Fajave?
Barbe. Is
Yeah.
that your fifth spot?
And then my sixth one, as I said before, I went a bit rogue with the men's ones, and I feel like I need to go for at least one rogue pick, just to look back on it and be like, I'm amazing. So, uh, let's just throw Zoe Carter in there. There's one, she won a
Yeah,
knockout
I mean,
last
why
year.
not?
Like, she
Yeah,
has won
Zoe and
knockouts before.
the yeah,
So
I'd have to
it's,
say I probably made a mistake not picking Zoe and Nia in my top six, but I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. I don't care.
I feel
They're the
like
honourable mentions if there's a random disqualification that happens or whatever, preventing my top six favourites from going into the final.
you've missed out,
Sorry,
like
New Zealand
Emma.
girls, I don't have much faith.
You missed out Emma. They're like the person who runs in the Swedish national team.
Yeah. That's just nah.
Well, you can't change it now. That's
Nah.
been settled. But so what we do now is jump into the relays, and we're just going
Yeah.
for um Australia or New Zealand
Yeah.
for our like top two. Um,
Yeah.
do you want to go first?
Yeah, right. So I reckon for the men's and women's senior elite Oceania sprint orienteering relay championships, Australia easily takes the win. Come on.
Oh,
Come on. I know it's extremely biased of me, but like, I mean, unless you have a real ripper run from the Faves, then, and maybe like Joseph Lynch, Lizzie Ingham, that sort of crowd, Australia, in terms of sprint orienteering, is just that little bit better compared to the New Zealanders, at the top end at least.
yeah,
Like, yes, you have, for an example, in the men's, if we had Aston and Henry fully healthy, that's pretty much that. Aston and Henry are world-class orienteers versus Tim Robertson, who's in a lone little island by himself.
yeah. I
And then
mean,
even for the women's as well.
yeah, honestly think it's going to be tighter than what you're thinking. I think no Tim and no Aston, no Henry is going to make a big difference. I think New
Yeah,
Zealand's probably
obviously.
got closer to full strength, but I don't think Australia's plan at World Champs is ever to run a full strength sprint relay team. Um, Controversial, but I don't see Henry or Aston running it in Scotland in the relay.
Nah, I mean, I doubt they'll be healthy by then, to be honest. So, yeah,
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. I think Australia have got some okay replacements at that elite level. I think people like Angus Haynes is I think the clear person to come in. Who will partner him in that top team though? That's the one that's always getting me. Who's that kind of next person?
hmm. I would say probably. Well, Brody Nankervis is my pick that comes to my mind, but again, it depends how well he can get back into fitness. Again, some of the young guys like Cooper Hawley, Callum White come into mind, but I think it's probably Alistair George or Duncan Curry, to be honest.
Yeah, or Pat
Or Pat
Jaff's
Jaffe.
another one. I think that's the
Yeah,
big thing of the Australian team. I think New Zealanders have a slight advantage that they have. They might not have the depth of field at the top, but they certainly have their relay team that's strong. Like Zephyr is
yeah, definitely.
edging on world class. You look at his JOC results, and then you go look at like equivalent people at World Cups that were around him at JWOC, and they're really up there. And so I think New Zealand will win because I just think they've got someone like a Lizzie Ingham who you know is going to give a good result. And I spoke to Lizzie Ingham at the end of last year, and she said she was, you know, changing her career now into more supporting the youth. And I just think that's a deadly, deadly mix when you've got a really good orienteer whose focus is switching from that elite end to helping bring up her teammates. So I reckon New Zealand are dangerous, and I just think Australia will be a bit lost without their figureheads.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, sort of, with there in terms of the men's. We have pretty good substitutes. Our women's is really good at the top end as well. It's just, yeah, I guess New Zealand in general just had a much better junior development program compared to Australia, obviously, because New Zealand has the ability to have training camps literally a 30-minute flight away or possibly a drive away, whereas in Australia, a lot of the junior development programs are left up to the states. And you and I both well know that some states care a bit more about their juniors than others. So,
And
which ends up
it's
leading to,
yeah, it's like
yeah,
the states don't get much from putting someone in JLOC and getting good JLOC results, so there it's harder to get funding. But like it's one of those things. I think the benefit for New Zealand as well is they're closer. Well, they're closer, but I also think they've got a good group coming through that are pushing each other, like Felix and Zephyr. I think take one of them away, the other one's nowhere near as good as what they are. I mean, to have both of them come through at the same time, like you know that they're going to be pretty healthy on that side for times going. The same on the women. I think like the Babingtons, the um, definitely missing someone who ran really well at Jaywalk.
Kaya Jorgensen,
Yeah, the
Kaya
York.
Jorgensen, Penelope Hammond.
Like there's just they're strong. I think our Aussie women are weaker than the New Zealand ones, and I think our men are on par. So that's why I'm leaning towards New Zealand win. But I think it's one of those ones that you can really see how good our youth development is in this race because we are relying on our development to get us the win here. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But let's just jump now to the next one, which is a few days later. So you've got a few days off now to put your feet up and relax. What are you going to be doing on your days off, Riley?
I'll be joining Oliver Martin and Joseph Coleman from Western Australia in touring Rotorua. Hopefully, some of the Key family go along there as well, and a couple of the other Aussie orienteers. We go look at the glowworms up in the caves and sit in some hot springs. That'll be cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool when you've got a nice little break, um, refresh and get some sightseeing in. Of course, you can't do an orienteering trip without some sightseeing.
No.
And we're in a new location now. We've moved from New Plymouth up to Auckland, um, for the Sprint Championships. So, what's your picks? This is split into 20s and 21s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, this now is.
So we'll go for predictions in the 20s first, and we'll just go for who we think's going to win. Yeah. Do you want to start off with the M20s?
Yep. Alright. So looking at the men's 20 elites, I believe that the winner, Felix Hunt's dropped down to 20 elites, so it looks like he'll clearly take out the win, to be honest. And then I'd say in second place would probably be. I'm going to go on a whim here. Jamie Wolford.
Uh,
Jamie Wolford gets second. And third
that would,
place, Toby Casalato.
if you're going Jamie Wolford second, this is a very early season pick. Are you going for him for a jaywalk spot?
Yep, 100%.
Will we see double Wolford at jaywalk?
Yep. And probably, most likely, New South Wales domination at jaywalk, to be honest.
Ah, that's an I was going to say interesting pick, but I don't really think that's that interesting. I mean, Jamie certainly is interesting, but like you, I'm going Felix Hunt first. I can't see any. Well, I'm not going to say any welter is not first, but I think he's got a strong first push. Second place, I'm going Owen Radajowski. I know he's been training really hard. I know he wants it, and I think he's gonna put some good races in. So I'm going for him second. And
Yeah, fair enough.
third place, I'm just gonna have to pick a Kiwi. So I'm showing my Nathan Borton.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's in 20 elites, to be honest. I think surprised he's my age. I thought he was born 2003. Didn't realise he was born 2004.
I thought he was older. I thought he was. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought he
I thought
was
he was
oh
older
03.
as well.
Oh well, but
Mm.
well, I can pick him. So I've picked him. Go to W20s now.
Right, so coming in third place, I believe, will be Esther Kojic, who is living in New South Wales. Technically is Australian, but represents Hungary or Europe. So, in terms of third oceanic place, it would be, I believe, Erica Enderby, third. And then in second place, I will pick Catherine Babington. And in first place, I'll pick the other twin, Anna Babington.
Yeah, I I think Zoe Carter's going to be on a tear, so I've got her in third. Third Oceanic, I should say. Um, in second, I said she was going to have a good run in the knockout, so I feel like I have to continue
Back
go
her.
with her. So I've gone with Tide for Harvey in second, but third. Well, second Oceanic, but third. And then first Oceanic, but not first overall. I'm going with Zara Stewart, just because I want a random pick. and I've got faith.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And then,
I think we've lowballed a couple of women's junior elites there. I'm sure if they watch back this, they will be not that happy, but
yeah, well,
that's
some of them have,
happy.
the ones they've like shot down have have turned down coming onto the podcast, so they're blacklisted. I'm not picking them.
Yeah, yours.
Yeah, and because she's come on a co-host a few times and freshly come back from the snow, I'm going with Esther Kozaczuk to take it out. So just want to
Clearly.
up the co-host family because I don't think Ro's going to quite be there. So at least one of my co-hosts has to do something.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've been having too fun of an off season to put in some good results now. Maybe towards later on in the JWOC and WOC tryout races. Maybe I might do you a solid there, Will.
Yeah, back in the later show, towards the end of the season, I'll pick you for something. That's a promise.
Thank you.
It could be an awful pick at the end of the season, but at the moment, I'm feeling confident. We'll jump into W21s now, and I'll swap up the order. I'll go first. Again,
Yeah.
I've got some interesting picks. In third place, I think Tash Key. In second place, I'm going Amber Riddle. And in first place, I'm going Liz Ingham.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I reckon Tash has got it.
Liz Ingham's. You reckon Tash has got the win?
Well, no, I reckon she's got third place, top Australian. And we're all going to be begging her for Australian to come back on the Australian team.
Yeah,
Is my
definitely.
outside pick. What are you going for?
Right. I'm going to stir up the pot here. I'm stirring it. Third place will be, third Australian will be Emily Sorensen.
Ooh.
Second place will be Tara Malhuish. Obviously, first Oceanic Sprint Orienteering Champion is going to be Lizzie Ingham. There's not much there. She'll be fourth overall. And third overall will be, I believe, Ennisberger.
Yeah.
Second place overall. And first place. So the three Europeans, I believe, will take out the top three podium. I'm not too sure on the order, but I believe it'd be Anna and Teresa and Ennis battle for the podium. I'll let the viewers decide who they think will come in first in that order.
I just want to say that my picks were Oceanic, and I do think Teresa will come second, and Emily will come. So not Emily. Emma will come first. They're just too strong, and I feel like the Oceanic battle
100% agree with you there.
is like the pressure is there on the Oceanic runners because they're going for something. We'll jump in now to the final ones, the M21s. Riley, do you want to go first in the M21 picks?
All right, so I believe for men's 21 elites, in third place, or honourable mention, Callum White, fourth overall.
He's running up.
Yep.
Oh.
So are a lot of 20s. I'm not sure if he might swap over. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I've got to re-look at my list now.
Actually, let's not count those young kids who are our age. That's not fair. They should be doing their age class. They should be doing 20 elites. That includes Zephyr. He should be doing 20 elites. If he couldn't beat
Yeah,
Alvin in the schools champs, then he should still be doing 20 elites.
I'm going to agree with you there. It's
All
quite
right.
controversial, but I I agree. I think you should run your age group until you're out of it. I think Zephyr's probably thinking that he's got a good shot at that Oceanic spot though. And I've got my results have got him quite close to that Oceanic spot, but I think he's probably out of all the 20s, I reckon he's probably the closest to that Oceanic spot.
You really think he's closer than Cooper Hawley and Callum White in the sprint?
I just think I'm not going to underestimate what the New Zealand advantage is going to be. And when
Fair enough.
Zephyr came
Fair enough.
across the WA, he was a class above in some of the races. There were some races where he was beaten, but I just think you can't go beyond, or I can't go beyond some of those performances.
Yeah. All right. Now, let's get to the top three results. Again, in third place will be Joseph Lynch. In second place overall will be Alistair George. And that means in first place, our first ever Oceanic Sprint Orienteering champion in the men's will be Angus Haynes.
Yeah, he's fast. And he's been in New Zealand training. I've did a Strava stalk the other day in preparation for this, and he has been in New Zealand. So good pick, I reckon. Good pick. As I kind of touched on before, I've got Zephyr high up there in mine. I think he's gonna run himself into some form, and so I just want to do an honourable mention to Brody because I feel like Brody's going to have a good run. Not going to quite make the podium, but I think he's going to be close. My third place, I think, and I've checked, he is on the start list. Tommy Hayes. I think in second place, I reckon it's going to be Zephyr for Harvey. And in Riley's not functioning. And in first place, I think this is controversial, and I think I'm just going to be a little bit more controversial than what I just did. But I'm going Ewan Shingler, and it's not because nothing to do with the fact that he agreed to come on my podcast. Nothing about that at all. I just think he's an outside shot, and Ewan, you did agree to come on the podcast if you're listening, so I am waiting for you to respond when you're going to come on. But yeah, first place.
Yeah, I definitely have to say that's pretty smart as well, because Ewan is pretty much the only 21 elite out of that top pack who is in form, as well as Angus Haynes from Australia. And you do have Joey Lynch from New Zealand, and begrudgingly, Zephyr. Alvin's better. Alvin Craig is better.
This is...
And then, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think...
Yeah, but...
I was just going to say, I think it's probably the most wide open an Oceanic sprint has been in a long time. I think it's hard to call. Like going through this, it's hard to pick. It really is hard to pick. And every time you pick,
Yeah,
with
especially ever since,
yeah, like filling out that podium, we're missing out some good people, both of us. So yeah,
yeah. It'd be easy if Henry and Aston and Tim were healthy and lived in New Zealand and Australia.
yeah,
Because that would just be a top three right there.
yeah. It's so much easier. Come on, just make it easier for us. Because this is the
Come on,
first.
Henry. Come on, Aston.
Because this is the first sprint of the season. We're going to do a tipping competition because Riley's going to come on a little bit throughout the season if you want him back. If you get a point right, you get 10 points. And then if you're within one spot, you get 5 points. And then out of that side, you get no points. So 10 points for spot on and 5 points if you're within one. So Riley's locked in for round one. Well, for each round, we're going to pick one race where we do the prediction for. So for the Oceanics, it will be the Sprint Championships. And then in the next previews, we'll pick which race we're going for the points for. But to quickly wrap
We've locked
up,
and loaded for the sprint check.
yeah, and I'm regretting my picks. I've gone a bit too rogue, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so running out of time, so we'll just quickly wrap up. It's going to be a sick week, I wish, or a sick couple of weeks. I wish I was there. I've been watching on from home, but Riley is going to be getting all the stories for us, and I will fill us in what's happened because, you know, we've got to have those on the ground reports. And we'll also get at the end, we'll do a kind of a little wrap up. I haven't asked Riley yet, but Riley will probably be on. And we'll get someone else to jump on as well to just wrap it up. So if you're out there in Oceania, out in New Zealand, have great fun. If not, you can jump on their website and follow along like I will, and join us sometime after for the rundown.
Yeah, it'll be good to have you guys on the podcast. Hopefully we can get some athlete interviews in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Check out the social media. There'll be some posts ongoing about it all. So make sure your eyes are peeled. And also a quick little reminder that for us Australians, our National Orienteering League kicks off on the 17th and 18th of February down in Tasmania. So I'm going to do my own little shout out. So make sure you get your entries in. Entries are closing on the 4th of February. So while you're in New Zealand, they may be pushed back, but don't rely on that. Just get your entries in as soon as possible, and get your flights booked and everything. I've just pre-ran a course today, and it's going to be technical. So thank you for listening, and join us for our recap, which I think is the next podcast.
All right, sweet. I'll see you all in Tassie.